Chasca is an incredibly simple character to play, but is actually quite confusing to fully understand and use properly. So this will be more or less a typical raised video, but the talent and constellation overview will get a little wacky. Let's get started. First of all, we do gotta finish raising her. We already got her to level 70 so we could test some things, but these days I prefer to max their level for the first showcase. So for the next ascension, we basically just have to fight some bosses. So let's go do that real quick. 3 drop here and a bad artifact. Atrocious. Horrible. We can ascend her already, so let's go ahead and do that. Level 80. We will need more of these new plants for the final star, but let's finish the bosses first. Decent, disgusting, trash, mediocre, testicular torsion, potential. Since we got no 4 drops, we need one more run. All right, and that was it. Got the boss mats, let's head to the plants. This is probably my favorite exploration team now, at least inside of Natlan. And beep, 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 beep. And beep. Should be it, I believe. Yes, indeed. Let's go. Final star. We do have to raise her talents as well. Thankfully, I should have everything for that already. We're basically just getting her E and burst up. I think her E is by far the most important. Okay, cool. So they're both level 8 now. Before we move on to the talent and constellation review, I do want to give a quick heads up. I'll be throwing around the term HPEC a lot, which means Hydro, Pyro, Electro, Cryo. With that in mind, let's get started. Her normal attack is unimportant, so let's move on. Her elemental skill, her first passive bullet trick, and her first 2 constellations all play into the core of her kit and where confusion can set in, so let's get that out of the way. First, while you're in combat and you use her elemental skill, you'll jump up and enter aiming mode. You can tap to fire anemo, but let's ignore that. You should mostly be holding her normal attack to charge anemo bullets. By default, only the 4th through 6th bullets can convert their element based on your team members and become about 3.4 times stronger. If your team has any Dendro, other Animos, or Geos, one of these bullets will not convert, even at C6. Her constellations do not help with that. You can run mono element with Chasca and still get 3 of the same bullets though. But because of Bullet Trick, her first passive, that's not usually a good idea. Bullet Trick unlocks the possibility of adding a conversion to the 3rd bullet. With mono element though, this chance stays at 33%. With 3 different HPEC element units, it goes to 100%. C1 helps with this a bit, buffing the conversion chance by 33%. And also allowing the 2nd bullet to be converted as well. So now you can play around a bit with teams while still guaranteeing the 2nd and 3rd bullet converts, right? Well, kind of. Firstly, you are still limited to only HPEC units, since you'll lose one of the 4th through 6th conversions with any other element. But also, the 2nd part of Bullet Trick gives you a damage bonus based on the different elements you have, which C1 does not cover. At C1, you could choose a team like this, Furina plus double Pyro. All bullets will be converted at a 100% chance, but because there's only 2 different HPECs, you only get 35% of the 65% damage bonus here. I've done testing with another theory crafter Ditsik, and he came to the conclusion that this is a generic damage buff. It's worth testing and knowing because that means it's not the end of the world to not max this. 30% generic damage bonus is not nothing though. It's basically 2/3 of a goblet. With C2, you don't need to think about it anymore. The Furina double Pyro team maxes Bullet Trick, since with this first sentence here, it gives you that 1 stack you're missing. I complained a bit about this in my summons and my stance hasn't changed. I still think it's wrong to separate something so connected into 2 different constellations. More experimentation is needed to see what's worth giving up for more team flexibility. At C1, you're already converting 5 bullets and maxing Bullet Trick with 3 different HPECs. With 2 different HPECs and a Zealonin, for example, you're only losing 1 of your 5 strong bullets and 30% generic damage bonus. Is that worth Zealonin's big res shred and her Cinder City set buffing at least 1 of the elements in your team? I can't really answer that. My gut feeling says probably, but I don't even have C1 to really test it. One last thing to note about her bullets is that they fire in a last in, first out order, so starting from the bottom. And due to internal cooldown, it's only the 6th and 3rd bullets that actually apply their element. As we were testing this generic damage buff from her passive, this was confirmed on accident. Take a look at this image and ask yourself which reaction should happen. Pause if you want some time to think about it. If you guessed Superconduct, that's correct, since we have Electro in 6th and Cryo in 3rd. For most cases, this doesn't really matter since they're converted randomly, but still an interesting little tidbit. To summarize, at C0, go with 3 different element HPEC units to max both the chance of conversion as well as the damage bonus. At C1, you can experiment with double element HPECs, losing 30% damage but gaining resonance, 25% attack in this team's case. And then finally, at C2, you lose nothing with 2 HPECs of the same element, but still can't go with a non-HPEC like like Zealonin without losing at least one bullet. Okay, moving on to her burst, it's basically a quick E with slightly higher multipliers, and all 6 shots getting converted. The only thing to note is that you still need 3 HPEC units for all conversions, but at least it doesn't matter if they're different elements or not in this case. Her second passive is pretty simple. It's an extra attack for every Night Soul burst that happens. The element of this attack will be random based on your team elements, much like the bullets. Finally, her exploration passive is very cool. She can fly. It's really good in Natlin. Outside of Natlin, slightly better than Wanderer, but not by much. Her swap mechanics are also very fun inside of Natlin. Outside, sadly, they do not exist. Okay, I am glad we are finally done with that. Let's move on to build. At the end of the day, since she is a typical attack scaling DPS, I kind of find it hard to recommend a 4-star. I unfortunately don't even have any good 4-star raised bows for her. As usual, there is a solid forgeable weapon for her. The passive is almost perfect because you need different elemental types. Main stat is attack percent. It has quite high base attack. At R5, I would guess it's 20 to 30% depending on the different elements you have. And a bit of EM down there. I mean, she will be doing reactions regardless of the team, just some are better than others, of course. Besides that, I think most of the crit damage bows are going to be good for her because, you know, she's mostly going to be running Codex, so I don't think she'll need a lot of crit rate. Most of the passives are honestly not that great, like Linny's is okay. She'll get 20% charge attack damage, but yeah, in the vast majority of Chasca teams, you're not going to be getting mini gimmick stacks for the attack there. Aqua Simulacra is all right as well. A lot of crit damage, 20% generic damage buff. For the first showcase, I like to stick with a free-to-play or at least 4-star weapon, but again, we don't really have any that would be good, so we're just going to go with a less than optimal 5-star weapon like Skyward Harp. It does have high base attack, but crit rate main stat and, you know, 20% crit damage there is okay. We are going 4-piece Codex. I would have to assume it's the best general set for her. Probably if you have some busted Wanderer troop pieces, it'd be fine. 35% charge attack damage at the very least until you get around to farming Codex more. Viridescent I do not think is going to be good, at least in every team I consider and plan to use her. If you have Furina in your team, Hunter set is pretty close to Codex. I just like Codex because I don't need to think about it. So yeah, we're definitely going Codex. She is built pretty much like a standard DPS, attack main stat on Sands, crit damage on Circlet, trying to get crit rate and attack and maybe some EM in there for reactions. Goblet is where things can get a bit weird because we're obviously not going with an Animo damage Goblet. She doesn't do a lot of Animo damage herself. The typical recommendation would just be straight up attack. You can use her in different teams and not really worry about it, but if you have her at C1 and are like experimenting with double Pyro, then something like a Pyro damage Goblet would be a little bit more interesting to consider. For now, I'm just going to throw her in an attack Goblet because that's what I would generally recommend, but it's good to consider a different element Goblet depending on your team. But okay, I think she's pretty good now. We'll take a quick look at the stats. We got 2,500 attack, which is pretty dang high. Obviously, Skyward Harp's big base helps with that. Only 120 EM might not be that good, but 98.7 crit rate, 218 crit damage, and 140 energy recharge. Her burst isn't integral to her kit or anything, so if we can't do it every rotation, it doesn't really matter. So let's go ahead and try her. We have filtered by only the HPEC units. I've heard Auroron can be good with her, but we haven't raced him yet, so we can't really try that. I would like to at least start with maxing bullet time, so 3 different elements here. We probably will be keeping Binny and Furina, so let's just look at the Cryos and Electros. Diona might be interesting for some extra healing and some big EM, especially if she runs Instructor set. Lisa with her def reduction might not be bad either. Yeah, sure, we'll just try Lisa for now. This is more so just to get an idea. Good old Dorito boss to test first, I suppose. We're just gonna do her burst, I guess. I don't use Lisa very often, so maybe I'm doing something wrong, but yeah, so we're just going to hold this now and start blasting away. Did I see an 80k in there? Okay, wait a second. If she didn't die there, damn, okay, hold on. That was actually way better than I expected. I mean, I know Furina's a 5-star, so maybe not everyone has her, but like, she really should be one of your top priorities. Let's try once more while actually moving Chasca around to maybe try and avoid something. All right, here we go. We're just gonna be like moving around, trying to get an idea about like her damage there. There are some pretty big hits, I think, and the dude's dead. We'll have to slow that down in post, but I'm not sure. I think I'm seeing like 80, 90k sometimes. That is insane. I mean, yeah, we got her in R1 Skyward, which is a 5-star, but I mean, it is a standard banner weapon. I imagine a lot of people have it, plus it's not even like that great for her. She'd be much better with a crit damage weapon, especially because she already has plenty of crit rate with her Ascension plus Codex. I had to struggle to get this below 100. Okay, well, she's either just a really good C0 DPS or we found a very nice team to start with here. Usually I would save Abyss for God mode, but I haven't even decided if I'm getting her C2 yet, so we'll just do it here. We also do have a new abyss, but I've heard it's quite easy, so I'm not going to bother like talking about the enemies too much here. Just a quick look to see which side she would fit better on. I think she'd be fine on either side, but to see more AoE, we're going to go on first half, just there's more enemies there. I do want to try out some different teams though. One Ditsik recommended was using Ayato. I haven't used this guy in so long, so I'm probably just going to build him as best I can. He'd be there almost purely for Hydra application. And then we go Benny Shanling, so yes, we are losing that 30% generic damage bonus, plus 33% of the time the fourth bullet won't get transformed either. But just for fun, just to check it out. So I might be doing this in the wrong order, but we're just going to use his burst and then just move on to everyone else, I guess, Shanling included, and then just press her E and start blasting away. So I think we could hit both. Are we actually doing any vaporize here? Yeah, whatever. We'll just start everything over here. We only have 4 enemies left, so we'll see how it goes. We can get Shanlings, okay. And it's just these 2 enemies left now. So I think we are doing vaporize, actually. I do see that popping up, and I did see at least like an 80-something K, I believe. All right, at this point, it's just this enemy left, so we'll just take care of him normally. It is possible everyone needs a little more energy recharge there. All right, whatever. We're just gonna go up like without any buffs because no one has energy. But I mean, she's still doing like pretty solid damage there. We got these 2 guys here. I mean, that is like a good amount of damage, actually. That guy will be dead here. Okay. I guess we should try her burst as well, all right? Can we just do that? Yeah, we can do it while we're up here. I didn't see anything. I think the dude had his shield. We'll try her burst later. Well, there was floor 11 anyway. And yeah, I do think the Ayato double Pyro team could be very interesting. Probably more so at C1 though, so you guarantee the 2 bullets get transformed. For now, let's check what floor 12 has. Hydro Tulpa in second half. We might try both sides. Let's start with first half though, going with the team we started with. All right, let's give this a try here. Got everyone's stuff. Oh my God, he's moving around so much. All right, here we go. Kaboom. I think this dude, oh no. We're gonna try starting with her burst this time, I suppose, before going up in the air. That did some damage to him. This is like a strong enemy, I suppose. He is going underground. Come on, so close to killing. Wasn't the most best thing ever, I suppose, but oh no, I pressed E accidentally. we just did her burst. Okay, here's some normal attack gameplay. We can go back up now, but everyone's buffs are gone. Whatever. Let's just prepare for the second chamber, I guess. I don't know what's up with the energy in this team. It's actually abysmal. I think we did it in halftime, which is good enough, I guess. Okay, chamber 2. We don't have Furina's burst. Let's go. Why do I always have energy issues? It's so stupid. Yeah, again, let's just prepare for the final chamber if we don't die here. We should be able to finish him off without buffs. It was still less than halftime, so I consider that a win generally. Okay, final chamber. I should probably look at my units. Make sure some of them aren't like messed up or something. Lisa, going all right. Let's just do her burst and hopefully those guys come back up. All right, that did something. Can we like hit both of them? I think we can. I don't know if they share the bullets then. Yeah, it's unfortunate because most of the time we don't even have a Benny boost here because I always have to stay on field with Lisa getting that last orb I need. So I think we're just gonna ignore that this time. We have 3 enemies here, so I guess there's like a boss at the end. Yep, this guy here. We can use Furina's burst. I'm not sure how much that's going to help right now because we just really have Benny. Okay, if we can do that, and we'll do Chasca's burst real quick. That should be decent, I think. We should have the buffs. Yeah, he took quite a lot of damage. Okay, wait, there he goes. That was pretty good. If I can just manage the energy, then this would actually be a very solid team. Guess I don't really need to do Yolan's burst on this guy. Well, I mean, probably for speedrunning, this is like a fast abyss, but I don't think it's easy just in general. This Hydro Tulpa especially just kind of insanely tanky. For second half, we're actually going to try the sort of C1 example team and just lose out on 1 bullet 33% of the time. I think Furina will make up for the damage bonus we are losing. I am of course worried about the Hydro Tulpa, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Again, I guess we'll just start with her burst and then go ahead and go up here. Okay, well those 2 are dead already. Oh yeah, and then we have the boss, the actual enemy here. Why isn't she charging the bullets? Doing something funky, I guess. Yeah, I guess we're just going to play it safe and wait until he's done with the shockwaves here. All right, what are we doing here? I mean, something. The boss did die actually very fast. Next side, Benny is looking a little bit bad here, and I don't think we have any, I mean, yeah, Chasca's a bow user. Oh my god, okay, I didn't see that. All right, we should be able to actually start now. Unfortunately, no Furina burst is what it is. I actually gave her more energy recharge as well, but did not work out. All right, we should have all buffs again. Let's just keep going. I mean, this guy is very tanky, but you know, we are making decent time here. Okay. Yeah, wasn't bad. The Hydro Tulpa is going to be a nightmare though. No one has burst. Let's give it a try anyway. I'm not actually going to bother using Furina's E, I suppose, until at least we can do her burst. And then I guess we're just going to start blasting away. I mean, we are like most of the time getting the fourth bullet there. And actually like, he's already half dead from one like full rotation. I should probably try and take care of these guys. Oh no, he's absorbing. Let's try her burst. Unfortunately, the rotation got completely messed up again because of energy issues, but I don't think that'll do it. Ah, so close. Okay, I think just Shanling's burst. There we go. I mean, we still 3-starred, so I will take that as a win. I'm really not sure what it is. Like, Benny has 227. Shanling has 257. Like, it should be enough. I know if you don't have double Hydro, Furina does need a lot, but she's at 175. I kind of figured that would be enough. It might just be a hard team in particular to have everyone's burst for. But yeah, I suppose that'll do it for the first showcase of Chasca here. In the right sorts of teams, she can be very strong, but unfortunately, those teams are very limited. And honestly, C1 and 2 don't even help that much. It more so just buffs the teams a bit. But I mean, she is plenty strong enough at C0 and very unique. I will be revisiting her again next week, also to decide if I'm going to grab a Constellation or not. Until then though, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Dropping a like or subscribing to the channel if you enjoyed is always greatly appreciated as well. Thanks, as always, for watching, and until next time.